Starting your children early with number recognition and counting. That's what we'll be talking about today on this episode of The Math Rebel. Welcome back. I can remember as a little kid quite a lot of things. And one of my first memories was my grandpa in a store where my dad was holding me, and my grandpa asked me how old I was. And I said 3. He'd hold up 3 fingers and he goes, "Well, what are you after that?" I said 4. So that's one of the first ways you can begin work with your children on learning math and counting, is ask them how old they are at a certain age. When they say 3, ask them how many's next, and 5, and so on. So they learn counting as a number, or this is 3 things, and you can use various different other techniques. One you can use is manipulative, is what they will call, and we can use pennies. So you can like set a bunch of pennies down, ask the child to count it. And for instance, I have 4 pennies here. Child can count 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 pennies. Now, in order to get the child to recognize the number 4 matches the symbol 4, I can also use some cards. And I know I have a deck of cards over here, right here. And what you can do, a deck of cards is going to be very useful in a lot of things I want to cover. You can take out the ace. In this case, I got all the hearts, and I have all the cards from 2 to 10. And I can spread them around all over the place. And depending on how many pennies I pick up or put down, in this case, I put down 6. Child says, "Oh," count 6, and then they pick up this, which means there's 6 pennies. So they can recognize that this symbol, the 6, means 6 things. That's one of the first things the child needs to learn how to do. And you could do that at a very early age with the child. Okay. Next, you can also use Microsoft Word as a way to help with the symbols. I'm going to show you how to do that. Take a look at this. Take a look at the toolbar of any word processing program. In this case, I will use Microsoft Word for this demonstration. First, set the font size to 300. Now, you're not going to be able to do this by using the down arrow key because it will only go to 72 in most cases. So highlight the number up there, type in 300, and press enter. And then that way you'll have a font size of 300. Next, highlight the bold button. Finally, hit the center button. I have my laptop set up, just like I just explained. And what you do is you hit a number, for instance 5, and the big 5 shows up, and you ask the child, "What's that number?" It says 5, backspace, 7, backspace, and you hit 3. This also works for letters if you want to do that, the letter S, and you hit the backspace. So this is a quick little game you can play with the child, just to get them to recognize numbers between 1 and 10, or 1 and 9. So it's a fun game to play. The child will usually like that. Now, set that down for a little bit. And another thing we do is, I taught English in Korea. And their crayons were a little bit different than what we had here. They were about almost the size of a pencil. And they would turn the edge, and then the crayon would color. Or the crayon part would come up. And I work with the kindergartners and preschoolers, and they had a coloring book, and a lot of times I would do is, okay, what's that? It's a cow. What do you want to color the cow? Brown. So all of the little kids would take out a brown crayon and color the cow. One of the things I did is I'd take students' crayons, and I'd set them in my hand, about to do them like this. And you can do this with pencils. Something like this costs a couple bucks. And what's interesting, you just go like this, and the kids got excited. I just would go like that, and they would just go, "Hey!" It was a fun game. And you can do this with a little child, probably 3, 4 years old, and go like this. And what you're going to do is count the pencils. Eventually, you're going to take some out, and they'll count them. So, for instance, I'm going to do in this case 5. So you go like this, make a fun face, and then you stop and you go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You stop. 5. And so this will be a fun game for the child. You know, child says 5, give the child a high five. It's fun. And they go, yay. And so you want to make math fun. And so you're starting out with using the concept of numbers and counting as something fun for the child to do. And remember, I talked about last time, practice. This is only a couple minutes a day, but the child might want to do more because it's a fun game. Okay? Now, another thing my grandpa used to do is we had the brown paper bags. And nowadays you have the plastic bags, so a lot of young people might not know what they are. There's a lot of things that young people don't know what they are. I had a student in class say, my dad has these old school black music discs with a big hole, you know, like a record. That's what they were called. So you get these in the mail. You get a bunch of stuff like credit cards, and you know, you got limited time. And then once the limited time ends, we'll give you another chance. So what you do, instead of throwing this away, you can use this. You know, get rid of this part of it. Part you want to throw away. And you write a number. For instance, 17. So you write 17 on that. Ask the child, what comes next? 18. Okay. So you write 18. 18's next. Oh, okay. What's after that? 19. Write 19 down. What's after that? And so you can continue on for about 5 or 6 numbers. And it's a fun thing for the child to do. Okay? And it's like a fun activity. The grandma or grandpa can come over, or big brother, big sister, aunt, uncle, whoever. And this is just a fun activity for the child to learn how to recognize numbers and what comes next. It's very simple. It doesn't cost a lot of money. The envelope's probably for free because somebody mailed it to you. If you have bills or something like that. One last thing I want to show you, in just a second. I got a bunch of books here. You can use a book. In this case, I'm going to use Friday Night Lights. I got a lot of books. Some of them I got for free. This is one of them because a long time ago we had Secret Santas, and they put down, what do you like? I said, I like reading and football. So got a book from Mrs. Copeland. Important thing is you could take any book. The important thing is it has numbers. And in this case, you use the numbers on the bottom. And you just have the child count the numbers. The child's not reading, they're just counting the numbers. So you start at the beginning, say for instance 10, 11, 12, 13, and so on. The goal is to have the child count to 100. Now it may take some work to build some endurance in the child as a young age, but goal can be to get the child to count to 100 before they reach kindergarten. And that would be an accomplishment. I think I was able to do it. Another thing is to have the child be able to count to 100 without the book eventually. Like you can invite somebody over, hey, count to 100, you know, count to 100 for grandma, and count 1, 2, 3 all the way to 100, and everybody's happy and praises the child. So these are fun things to do to get the child on a road to being comfortable around math and not thinking math is this horrible thing. These are some just quick tips to have the child start in counting and be on the road to hopefully having a successful academic career in math and actually learning it. So that's kind of like what I want to have for all the children. Remember, I have 3 books are in the description box. Also, I'm going to put in the description box for counting. If you remember the Sesame Street song 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I want to try to put in the description box a group called Pentatonix. It's an a cappella group. They're fabulous. I'm going to put them in the description box where they sing that Sesame Street song. It can be something fun for 2-year-old or 3-year-old to watch for a while as they get comfortable in counting. So until next time, see you again, and have a good day.
"82 rules, baby."